we only have like 700 birds that were laying, have laid for like 2 months, and the rest are just starting. We are doing about 25 trays in a day. For the starters, we are doing 12 trays, but hopefully in the next 2 weeks, because every day at least we are getting an increase of about 2 trays. We are hoping like in the next 10 days, we should be able to collect over 40 trays daily. Weekly, about 300 to 350 trays. And that will, in monthly, that will be around 1,500 trays. And but that is at least if you are able. And I'm almost sure that we will manage that with the right feeds. Because with the hybrid layers, you're supposed to get at least 90% of them laying, so long as you give them the correct feeds. And right now, like for the, we just hit 20% this week. So we're optimistic that in the next 1 week, we should be around 50%, and in the next 2 weeks, we should be around 90%. And when we are 90%, in a day, we should be able to collect about 45 trays in a day.
Chicken eggs come in all shapes and sizes, with no single one identical to another. There are also a huge range of factors that can influence the quality of a chicken egg. Among these are the type of nutrients in the hen's feed, the type of feed based on the age of the hen, temperature, diseases and pests, just to mention a few. How does Steve ensure the quality of his eggs?
Right now, I'm not doing my own feeds, but that's the way to go in future. But it has taken a lot of trials and errors, because sometimes you take some feeds from different companies, but right now the company that we are dealing with, it's doing very well, because by the time these growers were 4 months, we saw the first eggs. That is a good sign. That, and also we keep on checking the weights. We also keep on checking the quality of the feeds that we get. So that way we are able to ensure that we have quality feeds, and then we also get experience from other farmers that have used them before. But currently the company that we are dealing with, they are called Algo Feeds, and they are also doing their own poultry. So whatever they give theirs is whatever they sell to us, and they are doing very well. We can't complain. At least they are doing well, and we are optimistic. Like in the first flock, we've clocked 90% already. In these other ones, we are optimistic that we will hit 90% also in the next 2 weeks. And with experience, you're also able to know good feeds and bad feeds. Like for instance, if you even check the pigs that we have, and some of them are just starting, so it can tell you the kind of feeds that you get. But maybe for those that are able to make their own feeds, okay, you also need to do a lot of study, and you need a lot of experience, so that you know what is best, what helps improve. Nowadays there are even some feeds that will even make the yolk of the egg to be yellow. So there are a lot of factors, but for us, I prefer for now to just deal with the farm, and I'm not doing my own feeds, and I leave the feeding, the feeds part to the feeds company. For those that have laid for over a month, you're supposed to get big eggs. Of course, you cannot get extremely big for all of them. Sometimes you'll get a small one, but for the smaller ones, we sample them and sell them separately. Like for now, when we get, and I'll show you the ones that for the starters. Like for the starters, we are selling them at a different price. And for the ones that are big, we are selling them at a different price. But for starters, they don't last for long, because within 2 weeks with good feeds, the third week we should be getting, they should be at the middle size, and then after that they'll be big. And even for a bird that has laid for about 3 weeks, you should be having a big egg, unless the feeds are not good or unless there is a problem.
There are numerous benefits that Steve has seen through this agribusiness venture. He shares with us some of these benefits.
I can say, first of all, unlike other kind of farming, it has good returns. Although at first it's a bit, you really have to really put in a lot of cash, until they are able to start laying. But it has good returns, and there's nothing that goes to waste when you're doing poultry. For instance, like us now, we are using the manure that we have. We are also doing arrowroots farming. We use that manure there, and sometimes we also sell. For droppings, we sieve them and then we sell them also, and sometimes we mix them with other feeds so that we can also supplement, and they are also eaten by our pigs and even the cows. So I can see there's poultry farming, there are a lot of advantages. And then even after they've laid for the 1 year or 1 year and 8 months, you still sell them as egg layers, and you're able to get your capital back, which you can now reinvest again or maybe bring in more poultry. And I usually say it's like a caplot, because after they start laying, you go for like a year, and if you give them good feeds, you will go for 1 year up to 6 months laying eggs, and then after that now you can sell them again as egg layers.
Steve believes in not only looking at the whole picture but also the details. It is said that the devil is in the details. Sometimes things do not go the way one has planned them to be. Steve has come up with a backup plan to ensure that his profits and brood are protected. He shares with us who his market is and this backup plan.
For now, I'm yet to still start getting some profit, because we have so many birds, and now they've not reached the percentage that we are supposed to start getting good returns. But hopefully, God willing, in 2 weeks time, after they start laying, all of them, at least I get 90%. I can say the returns, I'm optimistic the returns will be good. And for the batch that we had brought earlier, I can say we are getting good results, because you will see like you're spending 5K and you're getting like 5K in a day, and you're getting like 8K to 9K in a day. So a net of around 3,000 plus, for me I would say it's better, and it's only a small flock. So when you combine all of them, like the 2,000, I would say okay, in comparison with what I was doing before, like the matatu business, it's like someone having 4 matatus, the returns. So for me, I like it, and it's not stressful. Although there are various challenges in poultry, but for me, they are good returns. And then nowadays, you can also insure them. Actually, mine, I'm in the process of insuring them for the 1 year, and it's not expensive, and at least you're safe, just in case something happens. So long as you've given the right vaccines and you're rearing them well. There are several insurance companies, but for my preference, for me, is CIC, and I'm in the process, so that at least in case of anything, you are still safe. Yeah. Right now, we are not yet there to get something, but at least we are getting approximately 40,000 to 50,000. And that is not even enough for the feeds that we are using for now. Actually, for the last 3 months, we've just been inputting cash, because like we are spending 8,400 every day for feeds alone, not to mention labor, because I have 2 farm hands, and not to mention water, not to mention electricity and other things, like now the disinfectants that you can see that we are using. But after now all of them start laying eggs, or not necessarily all of them, at least from 80% going up, we are optimistic that in a day I should be able to get at least a net of, I spend about 9,000, and then I get trays or eggs worth of around 15,000. So at least I should be able to make like 5,000 net every day. So in a week's time, a minimum of around 30 plus. Not to mention now the sales of manure and other things, and also that manure we use it to our farm. So I can say monthly around 150.
Vision is the art of seeing what may be invisible to others. What is Steve's vision in the coming years?
Yeah. Now, I had several hybrid cows. I want to have a minimum of at least 6 very hybrid cows, so that at least I can also supplement, and they go hand in hand. I also want to, at least after now these ones, I want to do another poultry house and have 1,000 more birds. And this time I want to try a different, I want to do a modern poultry house and see how it works. Most people are now also going for cages. It's something that I'm also thinking about, because with less space, like now this poultry house, I'm told with cages you can even house about almost 2,000 poultry within just this one. But for us, because we don't use cages, we can only do around 1,400 for this one. So maybe in future that's where I intend to go. And I also, God willing, I intend to also do other farming, maybe also do goat farming. Not the goats for milk, the kawaida goats. I even have a place set aside. We've recently leased some land also somewhere, so we also hope to go full board with dairy cows. We want to have at least minimum of 6 and a max of 10 for now, hybrid ones. Because previously there was a time around February we were doing about 80 liters to 100 per day. So now that's also our target to come back. But of late my concentration has been with the poultry, which really consume a lot of money, so I've not been able to get there. But now, because God willing, now with the way they are starting in 2 months, in a month's time we should be able to at least start doing something, because we are hopeful that we'll start getting good returns.
As we wrap up today's show, Steve shares with us his nuggets of wisdom.
Well, first of all, my advice is that most people really scare others. They tell them sometimes it's very labor intensive, it's very cumbersome, maybe you'll have birds and they'll die. Okay, to get rich you have to risk getting poorer. And for me, I think you can even start small, even if it's just 100 birds, which will not be so expensive. And you can even start by, doing a cheap poultry house. You don't have to necessarily cement like the way others have done or the way I've done. You can just start small with the mabatis and everything, maybe house a few, and with time you learn as you go by it. And then also when you want to do something, also study hard about it. Learn about it, try to visit other farmers, learn from them, see what they are doing, and don't be discouraged, because I know when you go to some, they'll tell you it's very difficult and everything is attainable. Though, okay, for the challenges, I can say there are several challenges also, like in our country, because sometimes you cannot really predict the prices of your sales. Sometimes they keep fluctuating. Like last month, we were selling eggs at wholesale at 300, now from the farm. Right now, they are at around, they were 280 there. Previously, there are times that they really even go a bit down. The story is that some people do import from neighboring countries like UG, and they bring and they flood them in the markets. So the local farmers are not, they have to sell at a lower price, yet they're using so much to buy the feeds. So that is one challenge that they should look out for, not to really do their calculations based on the lowest amount they can get, other than like now someone hearing eggs are going at 300 and then you start working with that. It's best if you act like with 250, so that at least by the end, even if to the worst it gets to that, you'll still know you'll be getting something.
Thank you for tuning in for today's show. Make sure you tune in next week for ordinary farmers doing extraordinary things, only on Urban Farmer. Before we go, here's some quick tips to help you start your poultry farming.